There is no sincere love than the love of food. A quote by George Bernard Shaw is one of my favorite quotes of all time. For me, food is so much more than just nutrition to the body. It is more often a sense of enjoyment and a sense of happiness. I love food and I love eating. Who doesn't, right? So I have an immense passion for food, and I would like to think of it as something that has only gotten stronger with time. Food plays a very important role in all of our lives. It brings us together, provides comfort, unlocks new experiences, and also has the power to send us miles away into our childhood memories with just one bite. So growing up, food has played a very important role at every stage in my life. And growing up, I always thought that chefs and food critics could only shape their lives around this passion. But today, social media has made it very easy for us to dive this food culture and share it with others. I am Varna, also called as I'm Still Hungry, and I run an Instagram food page, and I'm here to tell you about my journey with food. So I started off with 0 followers and grew my page to a current community of 27,000 followers on Instagram. You must have probably seen one of my reels on Instagram and shared it with your friends. So I am a food influencer on Instagram. An influencer mostly on Instagram is someone who creates content to share and engage with their followers. A food influencer or a blogger is someone who creates content around any subject concerning food. So a food page or a food blog is essentially about recipes, restaurant reviews, could be about different cuisines from different cultures. So I am essentially a Bangalore-based food blogger. So what is it really like to be a food influencer? I started my page on May 1st, 2019 as just a fun way to post about pictures of food and places that I tried out. And I used to take pictures of pretty much everything, and I just posted about it on Instagram with relevant hashtags. I am by no means a large famous account, but I don't think that's ever been a goal of mine. I think my main goal was to reach out to like-minded people who share the same love for food and try out new places, give my opinion, and share my food experiences. So I'm Still Hungry is something that I would often say when, even after finishing a meal, I would always say I'm still hungry. And I thought of using it as a temporary name, but eventually the name caught on and people just started using it. And so everybody likes food. I don't think I've met anybody who doesn't like food. But there are some people who love food, and I think I belong to that category. This love for food has been there ever since I was a kid. So growing up, I grew up with my grandmother who used to make just the best food, and we would often go out and try new restaurants within the city. And during my college years, I would save up a lot of pocket money and spend it on newly opened places. Most of my money was spent on food, and I would go out with my sister, my mom, and my friends to try out new places. So this is when I started my page with just like 23 followers at the time. And this is how it is currently. So when I started my page, I was absolutely clueless. Honestly, I had no idea what I was getting myself into because the concept of blogging was very new back then. And when I started, I really liked writing about food more than posting about food. So I started out by writing restaurant reviews on various food platforms. And back then, there was this very famous app. So I started writing food articles for them, which eventually got featured. And they had this insider group. They were called and invited to a lot of restaurant openings and launch events. So I remember getting my first ever invite from them, which was when I just turned 18. I got a mail from them, and I was super excited. It was this place in BTM, and I somehow convinced my parents. I was like, I'll just go and come. And I was very nervous. So I went to the event, and I met a lot of bloggers that day. Some of my best friends currently in the industry. I was shy and awkward at first because it was an event filled with people who are much older to me. they were all married or either working or had kids. So every time, so eventually I started getting called to a lot of events, and every time I told them I was still a student, I would get a surprise reaction from them, like, what is a student doing here? She's supposed to be studying. And then, but slowly, as I started attending these events, my social skills eventually improved, and I was able to interact and connect with people in a better way. So something that I often get asked is how I was able to grow my page. The thought behind my posts are quality more than quantity. So the number of followers did not bother me as much because putting out unique content and staying true to yourself is something that I believed in. So there were times when people would pull me down and say unnecessary things, copy my content, and it would generally make me, upset. But I just stayed true to myself and didn't let anybody or anything bother me that time. And I was also very consistent with my posts at the time. I would post every day. So it got a lot of attention, and I was added to a lot of blogger groups on Instagram, which I'm still a part of. So these are groups on WhatsApp and Instagram where they host events and blogger meets across the city at restaurants. So I started going to most of them and being an active part of these. And also, I have been ordering from restaurants online a lot, and it feels very good to have worked with them multiple times. I have worked with multiple established brands within the city, and that makes me very proud. That's something that I'm really proud of. So that brings me to how I was able to turn my passion into a source of income. So I think people have a lot of assumptions that usually brands and businesses reach out to larger accounts of maybe lakhs and thousands to endorse their products. While that is true, larger accounts do hold a greater value, but I think even brands and businesses reach out to smaller accounts like mine because we typically engage more compared to larger accounts. So I still remember when I just hit 5K followers, that's when I was paid for the first time. It was around 500 rupees, and that was my first ever earning from the page. It was quite a good feeling. And with more opportunities, as you build your audience, you will get a lot of opportunities. But I would say these opportunities are enough to just make decent money, but not enough to sort of survive on this money. So it's very advisable to not use this as a career opportunity, but mostly as a hobby with its own perks. And I think the most common ways of earning through your platform is through influencer marketing campaigns and brand collaborations. So influencer marketing campaigns is when a local brand or a cafe or a restaurant reaches out to a local influencer to sort of provide their experience, provide their service and products in exchange for a coverage on our social media. Sometimes this could be a paid sponsorship, or it could also be in payment through their services or the products. So there are a few things that I learned along the way. I know that each and every one of you might be passionate about something, and some of you might want to share this passion and build a community. And I would say it is not an easy job to acquire because the competition on Instagram is very steep. Social media versus reality. Sometimes on social media you might see it as everything as glitter and gold, but there is a lot of effort and work that goes behind making it look like that. But there are a few things that I learned along the way, and that's how maybe you can start out. So firstly, I would say pick a catchy name and make sure that this name represents your personality and your passion. Don't go with something mainstream or boring. And secondly, do not start out with an aim to get famous or get rich. Your aim should be to provide something of value to people and something that you're passionate about. And thirdly, make use of Instagram and other social media platforms that are available today to grow your brand. And Lastly, I would say, so Instagram is a visually oriented platform. That means that your work will attract audience and also clients who will be willing to invest in you and pay you. So your quality must be of really high. Your content must be of really high quality. So basically, you will have to probably take a basic photography class to make sure that your content is of good quality, which will eventually attract clients and audiences. Another thing that I often get asked is how I was able to manage this with college. So it was a little tough in the beginning to manage the page, attend college, and go to these events. So I remember this one incident where there was a very interesting event happening in Whitefield, and I had lab that day. So I told my lab teacher that I have a dentist appointment, so can you please let me go? And he gave me attendance and let me go, so I'm very grateful for that. And I remember traveling one day all the way from North Bangalore to South Bangalore, and me and my sister spent an entire day, right from morning till evening, eating all kinds of food. We came home exhausted, and there have been other tough times like this. So there was this one time where I was admitted in the hospital for food poisoning, and I've also had bad stomach upsets, but I think it was definitely worth it. It's always worth it. So this is the first picture that I ever put on the page. Oh no. Yeah. So it's been about 3 years of vlogging on my page. It's been a really big roller coaster ride. I've had some amazing moments and I've had some really bad times as well. But I would like to think I've enjoyed every phase of it, because without going through all these moments, I don't think I would be standing here and saying this to you. So I would like to tell you about few pros and cons of being a food blogger. So being a food blogger is basically you are in charge of your own brand, or any influencer for that matters, is that you are in charge of your own brand. You represent your brand, you choose who to work with, what to promote, and what your rates are. So this basically means you're your own boss, and that also means that you will be shouldering all the responsibility on yourself. And it also has its own perks. You will be invited to a lot of exclusive events and launches, and these are a very exciting way and fun way to meet people. And there is also another side to blogging, which is the disadvantages or cons. So in India, the concept of blogging is still very unorganized. There are no standard rates for practices, so you will have to figure things out on your own. Self-doubt and being hard on yourself is inevitable, because you are exposed to a world out there full of bloggers who are also trying their best. So sometimes you will look at your work and think that, okay, I'm not doing enough. But it's okay, you have to stay true to yourself and keep going. And sometimes even after putting in a lot of effort, your page might not be able to garner enough views and you might feel like giving up. There was a time when my page wasn't doing that well, but I just kept going on, and someday it actually caught on. And coming to the current scenario, I keep this as an enjoyable pastime rather than something that I'm extremely stressed out about. And I like to keep my account fun and engaging and put up unique content ideas on my page. So I look forward to learning about more different cultures, their cuisines, and bringing many experiences on my page. Because as they say, people who love to eat are always the best people. Thank you.